Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Rabbinic Cynic. I am your host, Rabbi Andrew Allen Bentley. Today, I want to talk about anti-Semitism, and especially the very disturbing images that we saw, that many drivers saw along the 405 freeway in Los Angeles today, a number of days ago. So in case anyone missed it, there was a number of people doing the Nazi salute wrote signs up saying, "Honk if you know Kanye is right about the Jews." And then they did a little a banner that gave a reference to their website, which I don't even want to. Well, I'm going to say it's Goyim something, so I don't want to even go there. And then they quoted two biblical passages from the New Testament. This is not the Hebrew Bible, it's the New Testament, the Christian Bible. Revelations 3:9 and John and from John. But I think the quote from the book of Revelations was particularly anti-Semitic. I'm going to get into that in a few moments, but I wanted to explain a little bit about the background. And anti-Semitism is something which is I think that it needs to be rebranded in terms of how we battle it and how we fight it. I'd call it for what it is. It's Jew hatred. And Kanye West is rebranding anti-Semitism. So I think that we should, and I've been talking about this for years, how we should call it Jew hatred, call it for what it is. Hatred of my people, of the Jewish people. And so what is the background behind this group of neo-Nazis, these idiots who have gone up there and who did this over the 405 freeway? So the background is Kanye West did some tweets that were taken down. And in his tweets, he said, I have gone to DEFCON 3 regarding the Jews. This is a summary of his quote, which is a reference to military readiness for war, right? Apparently Kanye West is going to war against the Jews. Well, if he wants to go to war, he can come to this Jew's house, and he'll be greeted with the compassion from a rabbi and some interesting arguments. And if he wants to get violent with me, I can throw down that too. That's a side note. Anyway, because I'm really upset about this. A number of people seem quite surprised, and I'm not surprised. This has been going on for generations. I myself grew up in England and experienced a lot of anti-Semitism. People carved swastikas onto my parents' cars. So this is nothing new to me. I'm like, hello, it's been going on for a long time. But I think it's important to understand where these anti-Semitic tropes come from. And so so this went a little bit further, and to be honest with you, the incident that happened on the 405 freeway and the banners that they put up give you the sources of where anti-Semitism, where these Christian anti-Semitic tropes come from. And they said, "Honk if you know Kanye is right about the Jews." And then they did a little reference to their website, which is Goyim, which in Hebrew means non-Jews, Gentiles. And I'm not going to give you the website because fuck them. And then they quoted from Revelations 3:9. And Revelations 3:9 says, this is what it says in Revelations 3:9. I'm going to quote to you the King James version of it. I'm going to put my glasses on because I'm blind. And the King James version, Revelation 3:9, this is in the King James Bible, says, "Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet," before my feet, right? "And to know that I have loved you." Right, and that's basically that verse, and that verse is describing how, and has been used throughout the centuries, to describe how Jews, my people, we are Satan, we are considered the devil, And that might just seem innocuous at first, but it's not, because it has caused the death of millions of my people throughout since pretty much the dawn of Christianity. The early Christians were Jews themselves. So I think an important interpretation to understand, and you know, I'm not attacking Christianity, because I know that a lot of good Christians have recognized that this verse is really Jesus was saying that those corrupt Jews, the corrupt Jews that he was arguing against, he was a Jew himself, as we know. Jesus was a Jew. He was just saying that you're not really Jewish because you're not living up to Jewish values. I think that's the modern interpretation, a better interpretation of it. But taken in that context, it's been used throughout the centuries by the Catholic Church to instigate in medieval times during the Crusades, when Jews were murdered by Crusaders because they were also considered infidels in that sense. Not infidels, I'm sorry. They were considered heretics against the teachings of Jesus, and many were forcibly converted to Christianity. There are many Jews in Spain, for example, who had to hide being Jewish because it was either be Jewish or be killed, so they had to fake convert, right? There's a whole group of Jews out there like that. And so we see this going throughout our history, going back to medieval times, the pogroms in Eastern Europe, these common tropes that we are the devil, that we have horns, that the idea of saying "Jew me down," that we're good with money, the imagery of Shylock, all of these anti-Semitic tropes they're nothing new. Kanye did not invent them, but he is reusing them. He has, and we know Kanye is a Michiganer. He's a nutcase. I actually appreciated his first couple of albums. I thought they were great albums. As a musician, I really liked the way he put beats together and the way he used music. So I mean, but then again, I like a lot of musicians who I really don't like their politics, and I don't particularly like Kanye's music anymore either. But Kanye West is not the root of all of this. The root of all of this is the anti-Semitism, which has been bubbling under the surface in the United States for a number of years, over probably the last 10 years. As a community rabbi, I've had to deal with this. And the FBI, actually, and the ADL, a number of different and government organizations as well as NGOs, have all pointed to the same group of people who are the biggest existential threat, the biggest violent threat, the major threat to the Jewish people in the United States. And one would think, based on the politics between Israel and the war between Israel and the Palestinians and some of the Arab world, that it would be Muslims. It's not. The biggest threat to the Jewish people are right-wing, white, neo-Nazi nationalists. White American nationalism is the biggest threat to my people, to the Jewish people in the United States, and also throughout Europe. It's rising in Europe. It's rising throughout the world. Many would say it's because we have Israel now, of course. And so now the Jewish people are safer, and Zionism has been used as an excuse. But they're just going back to the same old thing, that we are the devil, that we are the other. And in America, it's been, since the nature of racism in the United States is based on skin color, it's often been kind of brushed under the rug that anti-Semitism exists. But it exists, and has existed for a long time in this country. It may seem that we have done really well as a people. The Jewish people have done really well. We've integrated into America really well because maybe many of us are white, appear to be white, but ethnically we're not. We're not white Christians. We are Jewish. Many of us are not white. If If you go to Israel, you see that there are a lot of different. We come from all over the world, and part of that is because of how we have been kicked out of all the countries that we've lived in. Why? Because of these verses that are misinterpreted from the New Testament. These verses which have been used by human beings as a way to subjugate and as a way to put down the Jewish people, to keep my people in line, to stop us from owning property. It's been used in the past by saying that the Catholic Church only in the 20th century said that we didn't kill Jesus. Well, thank you for that, right? I really appreciate you doing that. That doesn't really make up for the 2,000 years of history where you murdered us. And you forced us to convert, or all the other horrible things that you did. The Nazis, who were pretty much atheists, they didn't even, they used the biblical references when it suited them as well, as a way to rile up the German people and to rile up the Polish and the Russians and all of those who collaborated with the Nazis. Now, I'm not saying that all of them did, because there were many who were partisans and fought for the freedom of Jewish people around the world. And again, I'm talking about the extremists. But the thing is, we need to understand that this exists in the world, that Kanye has rebranded anti-Semitism, he is Jew hatred, and he's taken it to another level, and he's empowered these people that stood up on the 405 freeway. But my point today, and why I wanted to go on air, why I wanted to go on my podcast and discuss this, is to kind of show to you that this is not an old, these are not new tropes. These go back thousands of years. And unless we actually stand up and do something about it, and I feel that my job as a rabbi is to educate people, educate my friends, educate the world at large, to understand that the anti-Semitism, we've always been the canary in the coal mine when it comes to the persecution of other races. And that is why you see so many Jews who were active in the civil rights movement back in the 1960s, because we've experienced it. We've experienced it for 2 millennia. And it's coming again, and they're coming for us again. They've become empowered by the rhetoric on the right, and there's some rhetoric on the left as well, which is empowering anti-Semitism. So I don't want to say this is just right wing. This is not a conservative or a Democrat. This is not a Republican or a Democrat Party issue. This is an issue that covers that is seen in extremism on both sides. On both sides, this inherent Jew hatred that exists. And some use Israel as an example. That's mostly on the left. And the right, who have been supporters of Israel, somehow some think that Israel has betrayed their cause as well. And to be honest with you, their cause started out, really, was anti-Semitic in nature, because the only reason they support Israel is because they believe it'll bring about the end of days, right? Where only 40,000 Jews survive. So if there's 12 million Jews in the world, so they believe that if only 40,000 survive when the Jesus comes back. So that's a call for genocide, in my opinion. No other way. And Kanye West, who said he's a real Jew, he's the only real Jew, that was the theme of the anti-Semitism of early Christianity, of the Christianity of the Middle Ages, is that we're not really Jewish people anymore. Us Jews, we're not really Jews, because we don't believe in Jesus. We lost that right to call ourselves Jews. So the real Jews that's what that verse is talking about. That verse in Revelation 3:9 is talking about that we're not really Jews anymore, so therefore we're Satan, we're the devil, right? That's what it's talking about. That's what it's saying. That's anti-Semitism. That's Jew hatred, pure and simple. That interpretation of that verse. And if you consider yourself a good Christian, a good human being, and you're not part of my people, you need to stand up with my people. I believe that Black lives matters, Jewish lives matters, all lives matters, but this is a systemic problem. This is a systemic problem that exists in the world, that exists globally. the rise of anti-Semitism, the resurgence of anti-Semitism, as the Holocaust survivors are dying out and their stories are dying out, and people are forgetting. People don't understand. They don't see. They think that why are we complaining? Why should we be complaining? We look like just like everybody else. Who are we to say that we are being persecuted, that we experience prejudice? Well, my Jewish friends can tell you that we do, and it exists, and it's something that we fight every day. And it's something that we fight for. This is something that is a cause that anybody that is against racism and seeks justice, racial justice in the world, should stand up and say this is wrong, and not be forced to say that this is wrong. Not be forced under pressure like Kim Kardashian just came out and said she stands with the Jewish community. All right, fine, everybody deserves to be treated equally. Yeah, we do. Oh, I really thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. Cheers. Little too late for that, And so I got to say, I'm mad about this, and I want to explain that verse in that context. I thought it was very important to understand that verse in that context. And moving forward, I think you people need to be educated about what anti-Semitism, what Jew hatred really is. And Kanye West has become the poster child for that. And his, and I think, is he proud of the fact that there are people doing Nazi salutes? Right? Should you be proud, Kanye? Because under Nazi Germany, you wouldn't have fared too well either, Kanye. Yay. You would not have fared too well. So your supporters would have put you in the gas chambers alongside me as well. I think that's lost on you. That's all I'm going to say about it at this point. I'm going to talk more about it, but this is something I feel passionate about. This is one of the causes of my life. As someone who has experienced violent anti-Semitism, was beaten up as a child for being Jewish in London. Anyone that went to school with me remembers the brick at JFS, if any of you watch my podcast, from the Jewish Free School in North London. Camden Town, we lived in a bad neighborhood. We had stones thrown at us and bottles and bricks. People yelling Yiddo at us, right? Which is the N word. That's the N word in England for a Jew, for being Jewish. Here, Jew said like that is the N word for me. Saying there are other tropes that people think are just innocuous that are thrown out there that people just think are okay to say, and it's not okay to say, because any other people. Other minorities in this country, I want to be treated the same as other minorities in this country. The Jewish people need to be treated. We are a minority in this country. We're an ethnic minority in this country. There's no two ways about it. We have been an ethnic minority for 2,000 years. We are one of the smallest populations in the world. We just have a loud voice. So that doesn't make it an excuse for Jew hatred, for anti-Semitism. So that's it. I said that's all I'm going to say, so that is all I'm going to say right now. This podcast is going to be posted. I don't see, and so I am now going to be rescheduling my podcast. I've decided not to go every day. I want to create better content, and so if you have ideas, and I know I'm going to have a guest. My friend Jerry is going to come on the show. But what I'd like to say the new times for this show will be Tuesdays at 8:30 a.m. and Fridays at 8:30 a.m. unless I have something I have to do, and then I'll let you know. But it's going to be 2 days a week, and 2 days we're going to discuss pop culture, politics, current affairs with and how it relates to Judaism. And on Fridays, I'm going to bring in the 5 books of Moses. I'm going to talk about the weekly biblical portion that we read and how that relates to the world, and different topics on that. Topics of leadership, topics of personal ethics and morality, and how the 5 books of Moses and Jewish law is still relevant today. And then we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking music. I'm going to do some musical performances. So this is I'm rebranding the Rabbinic Cynic a little bit, just to switch things up. And so On that note, I wish you all a wonderful Tuesday, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on Friday at 8:45 a.m. Live long and prosper.